Good morning. See, what was I even doing yesterday? I know I finished up working on an email tool. So today, let's find out. What I got written down here is, well, I've got, basically, I need to figure out exactly how we're doing this level transition flow stuff. So, gosh, we need to do, I need to change how all this works for transitioning between maps. Well, we need a couple things. Let's write them down. Because what we want to do is... well, what we want is we're going to make a mock-up flow for level transition. I should probably do that in Visio, just because we can draw everything out. Okay, we're going to want a couple different things. I should actually just pull up Visio so I can get started on this. So let's do that. Alright, let's figure this out. So kind of how the game works right now is we go from, we've got a couple states. I really just need to remake this whole goddamn thing, don't I? This will go to a pre-game lobby. Alright, so we should really just do it. A lot of this needs to be remade anyway, so. So what do we do in each one of these? This one we're gonna basically a countdown for the game starting. Let's see. Dun, dun. So this is going to be a countdown for game starting. This is going to be game is running. This will be the game has ended. We've got our post game. So this is the post game stats screen. So it shows stats, shows which team won. The pregame lobby is going to have vote for map. And ready up and start. So I'm trying to think how exactly I want to make all this stuff work. Because the new stuff really is this mode for game and all that. I really have to change a whole bunch of crap for this to work. Trying to think about how to actually tackle this task of making this whole level flow system. Alright, so what pieces do we need in order to actually get this? We need like a bunch of game mode configurations. So we need like some basic game modes. And I guess we'll concatenate game mode configurations. There'll be certain options like no contact, like floaty ball, some other ones would be big ball. Some of these like things you could vote for as kind of things that would go onto the game mode when we actually play a match. Good morning, Kirikan. And then all these kind of get rolled up into the actual game mode. Well, I'm trying to get, like, we need a new level flow for how the game works. Like right now, you know, it just keeps playing the same map in game mode over and over, and we need a system that does a lot more than that, where you can vote for things. Things like that. So I'm thinking about how to actually implement it and how I need to implement it, because if I just start making all this stuff, like I'll just break the game, and nothing will work. Well, a voting system isn't as complicated as you might think. Like it's, you know, it's just everybody gets to vote once, and you can just keep track of that pretty easily, and it helps for that. It's pretty well understood, so it's not a big risky thing. I mean, the other thing we'd have is this, like, sudden death or whatever. And this would be like the game is running. If we had to cover all of it, like if we're gonna think about this for real and like make an actual level flow that's not complete trash. Well, that's probably what I should do. Is I should kind of approach this from the front. And I also got to consider how long I've got to actually build this system. So it looks like to actually make this system the way that we need it to work, I've got this week and next week, so why don't I just take my time and think about making it properly? Yeah, okay, so this will be pre-game, countdown for the game starting, and we need a... This is when people are loading into level, so this might take some time for people to actually show up, because they'll be loading the level. Game is running, game has ended. Well, I guess, yeah, okay, sudden death. The game is running. No countdown. I guess we should have, like, countdown, draw. We need special music to play. I think players need to be reset. Okay, so actually we need another state here, because it's not just into sudden death, it's into, like, sudden death starting. Let's see, the game is not running, players get reset, countdown to sudden death start. Alright, the game is running. Vote for map, list of modes, vote up for things, one vote is for none, ready up, start game, countdown for load. Alright, so we need like a playlist. So we have actual game modes, and then we have a playlist, which has like an array of game modes. So I'm trying to think, like, okay, if we got the pre-game, in-game, sudden death starting, sudden death, game over, post-game stats, pre-game lobby. Right? So this is not the pre-game lobby. I mean, it actually is the pre-game lobby. Like, you go from post-game stats to this, and this will have all the stats and all the players and all that crap. Alright. Starting to come together, I think. So we have a playlist of game modes, which we run through, which is what will populate the pre-game lobby list. This is the stuff that we'll have in like config files for our game servers to actually run, and that people can customize for their own local game servers, and also make their own game modes this way. Alright, and this stuff will be available for like when we actually host a game. God, yeah, when we host a game, we're going to want a list of game modes as well that you can like click through and, you know, be like, I want to be able to play this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Alright. And then we can have different playlists for servers that you can join, and that would be pretty simple. Alright. Because one of the things is, like, I need to kind of slow down from what our development has been the past year of just, like, we need to get from September to December and ship the game and get everything live, make sure everything works and the game's fun, and, like, people actually want to play it. What I need to kind of do now is try to slow down development, I think, and get back to let's deliver full features and all that crap and not rush it through. Alright. I don't know what to do with all these. Mark all is red. Alright, good. Fuck. Set quality back over quantity. Yeah, there's some of that, like, well, it's kind of with game development, like, you can spend all day, like, you know, if you give people 2 weeks to write a feature, they will take 2 weeks to write a feature. Like, go make an achievement system. And, you know, like, you know, you probably heard me rant about how people spent months and months doing that in Dragon Age. And then never got it done. Versus if somebody said, like, well, make a game, you have 5 minutes, you know, so you're going to get a game. It might be really shitty. It might be hide and seek. And then, you know, it's like, well, what if... yeah, so trying to find that balance of what we should go deep on and what we should not. And also keeping it all live. Like, I have to be able to implement, like, this system in increments and make it so the game still works, so that, you know, I don't, like, break Adam while he's playing locally, while he's, you know, working on new maps. So... okay, so if we got all these, so let's break it up. So what new screens do we need? We need a pre-game screen. I mean, it'd be best to break this up into screens. But should I have kind of a 2 screens at once? Like a game screen? And then having 2 screens at once is going to be a little... yeah, it's not really going to work too well. And having one big screen is going to be a real pain in the ass. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we need pre-game screen. We already have an in-game. We need a sudden death starting screen. We need a sudden death screen, which is really just the in-game. God, this isn't... it's not how I want to do things. I don't want to make a whole bunch of screens, because then, like, we have those problems with chat and shit like that. We kind of need to break up the whole screen mentality, almost. Like, we need it to all be one big ass screen, I think. And then we disable and enable overlays. So we probably need to pull all of this crap into the same page. Into just the in-game page. Ooh. This could be scary. Alright, let's think. It'd probably work better if it was one big screen with different overlays and pieces of it. True. So we need to, like, make an entirely new screen system for in-game. Okay. So make a new in-game screen with lots of things. And the reason for that is we don't want to be jumping between screens and screwing stuff up with input and having a bunch of special case crap. Like, we just need we need more contained widgets. That are more independent of each other and not just all tied into the same mess. Yeah, alright. Okay, we need the level blueprints upgraded to add all the states. We in the level blueprints timer to be not using date time. It's gonna fuck up all of our clocks, but that's fine. What would be some other things for this? It would be nice to have an auto-generation system which could fill out all the JavaScript objects for us, so we don't have to worry about all of it. Alright. Do we need auto-generated data bindings for these things, like fetch game state, having it? No, we don't need that. Just having the objects themselves nicely off somewhere else is probably what we need to do. Yeah. That'll help enforce a lot of bullshit that we've had problems with. Or I should say, I have had problems with. We need a game mode object. We need game modes to be made of a list of game options. We need playlists, which are lists of game modes. We need, or should we combine them at runtime to be like available options that would be on the game mode? So it would like make all of them, so it'd be like a bunch of permutations. So you'd say like, well, these are the maps that can be played in this playlist, and these are the options for those maps that can be added. And then it creates a list of game modes from the list of maps and list of options. All right. We need playlist, which is a list of specific game modes. Which is a list of specific game modes, list of potential maps, and a list of game options, game option overrides. And we need to be able to load playlists from disk, because that's how the servers will load their stuff and all that. We need some built-in playlists for users when hosting a match themselves. Yeah, that's probably what we should do for that. Is, I mean, we can make some big-ass complicated UI for managing your own playlists. But that's another task entirely, almost. Like, we're not going to be able to get that done. That's too much UI. This is a bigger task than I want it to be. It's just, it's how it needs to be, though. We need an autogen enum system for JavaScript as well, so we can synchronize our information across. The other thing is, do we need like some sort of data updating system? So like if we change a game mode, it'll actually call back with a function saying, hey, this piece of data changed, with like a nice event system. That might be it. That might be what we need, is an autogen event system. Yeah, this is a long time coming. This is basically the UI for the game needs an overhaul for how we actually use it from the game. Shit. Okay. Because that would simplify a lot of the problems that we got right now with UI not always working properly. Is a lot of data syncing. Like the game data in C++ is all right, but like JavaScript doesn't get the message, so it's got the wrong score listed for somebody. Something like that. So this could be more complicated than I thought. I'm screwing up my sprint. I'm screwing up all my long-term plans too. But I think I need to. Alright, so we'll put these in some headline features. This is, we need to be able to work better inside of JavaScript land. We need the arena game level blueprint to work properly and support new modes. Well, this is just work properly. Alright, so we need a playlist of game modes which we can run through. And then we've got another thing here, don't we, which is we need a voting system for the next game mode. We need the next match to be started properly after voting / ready. Now, the ready up system and the voting is kind of the same thing. Like, if everybody's voted, then everybody's selected what they want to do. So ready up system is kind of the voting, so we don't actually need any of that, we just need the voting. Right. And this here is, we have a way for customers to select the next game type. Alright. Alright, this is another feature right here, which is we need dedicated servers and customers to be able to host games with playlists. I'm basically like kind of reverse making what I need to do here, which is figure out what the pieces are, break them up into like kind of higher level tasks that I can actually do. Because that was 20 minutes ago, was me looking at this and going, I have absolutely no idea where to start. There's too much, call that paralysis. You got too much shit to do that you don't know where to even begin working. And this is just patterns. Yeah, we have a big overarching task here, which is we need all the in-game screen to be a single thing. So it's kind of a task. So let me see where this even fits on our sprint. Like the next update is the end of next week, and the things that we really need in there for next update are the dedicated servers and the new forest level. The update after that, because right now our big milestone is we're trying to get to kind of a stable game that we can start building more complex features off of. So we're not trying to like deliver a whole bunch of content over this milestone. We're trying just to not have everything be on fire, so we can actually, start being more effective at delivering things. So if I don't get this done for the next update completely, it's not the end of the world, but we do want it done for the next update. The other thing to consider is if I work and do all this stuff for the next update, some of those larger bug fixes aren't going to be fixed, which is never good. So let me see if I go through my bug list. What I've got left and what is high priority. Welcome to the stream, planning. Not working, which is what people spend way too much time doing. Yeah, I think the big bug that we got right now that we need to fix for reals is that login disconnect bug that we've got. Like, that's the biggest one. The rest is just a bunch of small stuff that if we don't fix, it's okay. Well, it's not necessarily housekeeping. Like, it's more like we've built a house and like our, a bunch of relatives are coming over or something like that. We only got 20 minutes to clean everything up, and so like maybe we stuff the closet full of all our dirty clothes or something, and maybe a couple dogs and cats that need to be fed and watered every so often. And we need to like keep the aunt and uncle busy while we like deal with all that crap. So if we, yeah, all right. And the UI stuff earlier this week really screwed. This sprint has just been a mess, hasn't it? What the hell happened this week? Yeah, the UI stuff just totally screwed up everything. and I didn't actually have a really good plan coming into this week for how exactly this is going to work. We didn't get a call with Adam like we usually do on like Tuesday. Alright, so I'm just gonna start remaking my sprint here then, because this is just a fucking mess. So maybe I should just fix a few things to start with, or should I just start working? Probably just start working, because some of these things are messed up. So we finished the level flow, okay, fine. Alright, let's just say fuck it. Let's make a new sprint entirely. Let's make sprint 4. Sprint 3 is done. We failed sprint 3. Let's make sprint 4. Alright. So it starts today, which is the 19th. And it goes until... yeah, the 27th. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Alright, so we have bug fixes and all that stuff, but we're probably not going to get to all of it. So let's start here. We have this will be a JavaScript autogen system. So we have a system for auto-generating JavaScript bindings so we can more easily work in our UI. Alright, task for that. We need autogen system for enums. We need an autogen system for JavaScript for objects. We need an autogen system for UI events. Alright, so that should be like a 1-1-1. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what just happened. Like, we're when your plan completely fucking falls apart, sometimes the best idea is just to be like, all right, we're done. Like, we've already dug ourselves into a hole. Like, we can either keep digging blindly, or we can take 5 minutes, eat a sandwich, and figure out what the fuck we're doing. Alright, so we have upgrade the level blueprints. Our arena level blueprint supports our new states. So we have change timers to not use date time, and we need upgrade to add our additional. Maybe I should just list them out. Add pregame state. Add in-game state. Add sudden death starting state. Add sudden death state. Add game over state. Add post-game stats state. Add pre-game lobby state. I don't think we actually have a post-game stats state. It's just pre-game stats. So let's just assign all these ones because that's the easiest way to plan. Next thing, we have a playlist. Alright, so we need playlist configurations. We have playlists for game modes. We have a robust system for creating creating game types. Alright, so we've got create game mode data structures, create game modes from game option overrides, we need to create playlists from specific game modes, create playlist from game mode permutations, we need to load game mode, load playlists from disk, and we want to specify playlist via command line, and that's for dedicated servers. Alright, we have a way for customers to select the next game type. Alright, so level, so playlist, advancement. So we've got players can vote on next game's options. So we want voting system for next game mode, and yeah, it should be one. And I guess we're not going to have absolutely everything we want, so that's just how it's going to go. And then we got like a big UI task, so UI, in-game UI overhaul. Our in-game UI is not a giant pile of crap. Overhaul to single screen with multiple tabs, I guess would be the best thing. Like I was saying to Adam, no, they shouldn't be tabs. We might, they're like multiple subscreens, I should say. They're like widgets that you throw on top of it and move around and everything, so it should be fine. But we want it all to be the same widget, so we're not like creating and destroying the universe all the time. Alright, so we're going to want the in-game screen. We'll just break it up. So pre-game screen UI, in-game screen UI, sudden death starting UI, sudden death UI, game over UI, pre-game lobby UI. We need the game stats UI. We're also going to want the in-game stats UI as part of that. Let's see how much we've actually got to do for this update if we're going to do it. Alright. Voting system. We got that peaceful mode. Be in there. Auto adding bots. Bot hard mode settings. Kick user. We also need a generic voting system. So we need a chat-driven voting for yes/no commands. So create yes/no vote system. So basically, like you'd say like, hey, I'd like to vote to ban this guy from the server for 5 minutes or something, or whatever generic yes or no. Like let's vote to end the match. So you could say like /vote end match, and then if enough, it would say like in the sidebar, 1 out of 6 people have decided to vote, and you would say like, yes, I'd like to vote if you wanted to, otherwise you could ignore it. And then if enough people said yes, we should vote, then a vote dialogue would pop up with yes or no, and then because we're gonna want that for things like vote to add bot, vote to remove bot. That'll do it. That'll add all those features that we need. Yeah. All right. Well, the big thing about the game is that we want, like, if people can vote, that means that they can fix their own problems, right? Like, we don't have to fix everything. It means people can affect other people and be trolls or whatever, but you can always go make your own server if you really want to. Alright, so how much crap have we actually got here for this? We got 3, 10, 16, 26, 30 if we don't do any bugs. And we got how many days? And if we extend this to the 26th there, what's our current velocity that we've been getting with? Our average previous velocity is around 3 or 2 to 3, so let's just do 2.5. Alright, so that's going to be the number of days. So we expect to complete 17.5 of this. So there's our answer. We are not going to be able to get all this done for the update. Well, fuck. Well, basically what that means is we don't really have much of a choice. So let's look at our schedule and see what we can do about that then. So if our main release here is dedicated servers and Forest Day is the really good thing. We've got dedicated servers and we've got Forest Day. We've got those things done. The next release is like practice rooms, perf improvements, and like UI stuff. It may be that we need to just it may be the next thing is like playlists instead of everything else. Instead of practice rooms or something like that. Alright. Well, shit. That's what needs to happen. So what else are we supposed to do? Right. That's why you don't promise specific things. You promise vague generalizations so that when you run into, well, we're not going to be able to get all that done, then it's not the end of the world, it's just disappointing. So I'll send Adam an email about that and just say, like, my sprint got completely screwed, and I've made a new one. Sprint 3 is dead prematurely. Long live Sprint 4. Alright, so I've remade my sprint starting today, and we'll probably have to push back a few features for next update. So probably either UI level or practice rooms. Here is link to my next what I'll be working on. Alright, son of a bitch. Great. So what am I working on today? Since the first thing I did was completely screw up what I thought I was going to work on. So this is redo sprint planning is what we did. The first thing to do, probably for all of this stuff, is just to do like the JavaScript autogen system, to be honest. Like that's the first thing. So why don't we just do that? Which it's not going to be Unreal 4 development. It's not going to be pretty, but so let's change it up. So let's do UI autogen bindings for C++ and Unreal Engine with WebKit. Cool. All right, so that's what we're doing. From the top, we should start on autogen for enums, objects, and UI events. All right, so based on that. All right, so we need enums and objects and events. So what's our generation system look like at the moment? So our targets, this is what Dashkin game. We've got all these things. We might want to make it part of the larger object rather than these entity data sorts of smaller things. Actually, we might not. We might want to just keep it in here. Alright, so we need to keep it in the Dashkin game target. Alright, so we're going to need like a shared set of enums. So we probably want to make an enums folder here. Let's just make one. And let's start off with that. So just do game enums.json. So what are some of the enums that we're going to need? So we need teams, we need game state, so those are our game states. What are some other things? That should probably be enough for that. So we need enums, so let's go ahead and reflect our enums. We're going to need like an enums.js, which has this stuff in it, and an enums.cpp. So let's go to our templates and go ahead and make those files. So we've already got an enums thing. Let's just have Dashkin shared enums.h and .cpp. So we'll get our C++ files auto-generated for us. This will be Dashkin shared enums generated, and what we're going to want to do is for every enum, we'll make a new enum type and some of those sorts of things. So we'll be able to use these enums in blueprints, and we'll also be able to use them in our JavaScript land. So I need to actually break this up a bit better. Kind of like this. Okay, so we got our shared enums, so when we do with this thing, it's going to be list. This is going to be, this is inside of, what's our path? Enums underscore game enums dot enums has enum. So for each one of these things, we're going to make a new